Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we'd like to begin this lesson by giving all glory, all honor, and all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodesh. Giving double honors, double unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who surely do rule well. To the men standing by the highways and byways pushing this doctrine, we like to say Shalom.
Shalom.
And even unto the sincere Akwat, the sisters who sit listening to these lessons in silence, subjection, and obedience unto their husbands, we like to say Shalom.
Shalom.
Alright, three brothers here gathered together from the hills of Yahushai camp. Brother Hanana, Brother Maya Sha'ala,
And I'm the brother Isaiah.
right? And what we come to do again is bring out a little bit of edification. Lord's willing, this lesson is edifying, right? And we're going to do it in a famous saying that we have here in this country that we live in, right? Laugh and cry, let's live in the same house. So I type it in here because I said I would have, basically give you the meaning of it. But I wanted to see if Google would have had the meaning as well, right? To see if they're keeping up to date with the times, right? Because this is a famous saying here in this country. Laugh and cry, live in the same house is a Caribbean idiom meaning that joy and sorrow, right? If you want to, could you go as well, could you look up what the word idiom means, right? Is a Caribbean idiom meaning that joy and sorrow or laughter and pain are closely linked and often coexist in life. It implies that the source of our greatest happiness can also be the source of our troubles, highlighting the often chaotic proximity of emotional highs and lows. Right? And this is an aspect of the scriptures that the Heavenly Father agrees with. Sirach 42:24, all things are double, one against another. He had made nothing imperfect. Right? One thing established should be good or another. Right? So it's the duality. The Most High is a power of duality, right?
Yeah, Deuteronomy 32 and 39. Right? We are going to that topic of if and what if refers to it in the scriptures. Well, if refers to what duality as well. Right? The ability for the Most High to do something and not do it at the same time. Right? Think about Deuteronomy 32 and 39 says, see now that I, even I am He, and I kill, and I make alive, I wound and I heal.
Right, so he does the opposite all the time. He kills and then he makes life, right? He makes life, then he kills. So again, the opposition here, right? The Most High is a power of balance by him actions are weighed.
Yeah, false balance is an
Unto
abomination.
the Most High. Right? Key aspects of the phrase here, they're going into it. Cultural origin, popular in Trinidad and Tobago. This proverb is used to show that humor is often used as a coping mechanism for hardship. Meaning it suggests that life, which we're going to do our actual 3 parts into this. First, we're going to go into the fact that the heathens laughing now, but they're going to cry later, right? So laugh and cry living in the house of the heathens, right? We're going to go into the fact that the Israelites, meaning what? The 2/3 of the nation of Jacob, them laughing now, and them kicking now, and them feelings again now.
Making a mockery of saying.
But that laughter is going to be the tears in the time to come. And then the third part, I actually can't remember as I'm thinking about it now.
So you done?
Not Esau Edom. It could be us. We crying now, but we're going to laugh in the kingdom. If it wasn't that, then it could come to me, right? But if not that, that could be the third part. And the fact that we again the role, basically this lesson is to highlight that there's going to be a role reversal in the year. Who happy and enjoying life now, that's not going to be the case very soon, right? So, if you could give me it. Right. I can give you the word idiom. Idiom is a form of speech peculiar to a people or place, right? Meaning phrase or expression peculiar to a language. Right, so there's basically we local slang to explain this meaning, right? Of that what we're going into. They're gonna enjoy life now, but that same enjoyment and the things are causing it to enjoy life now is gonna be the source of your pain in the time to come. Right? And again, we are going to be the source of the pain of these heathens. Right here. Laugh and cry is live in the same house. Right. That is a classic Trinidadian, in brackets, and broader Caribbean proverb. It means joy and sorrow often share the same space. The things or people that make you laugh and feel love can also bring tears. Right. Happiness and pain are roommates. you can't have one without the other showing up eventually. What it really captures, the source of your greatest joys can also be the source of your deepest hurts.
Oh, right, that's something? No, right, yeah.
Right?
That's what you're saying.
Right? Cultural origin, popular in Trinidad and Tobago. This proverb is used to show that humor is often used as a coping mechanism for hardship. Meaning, it suggests that life is complex. It suggests that life is complex and that happiness and heartbreak are never far apart. Application, it is frequently used to describe situations where people find ways to laugh through challenging, chaotic, or even tragic circumstances. Contextual uses literature and expression. The phrase is used in literature to describe the bittersweet nature of life and human experiences. Social media, which this has all given my idea of the Bible, right? Sweet in your mouth as honey, bitter in your belly, right? Social media, it's a common caption to describe, often with humor, the chaotic mix of work, family life, and everyday stress, as seen in posts on platforms like TikTok and Instagram. The saying serves as a reminder to accept that both positive and negative emotions are part of the human experience. So laugh and cry does live in the same house, right? And what these heathens right now laughing, if you could give me it, Ezekiel 36 and verse 2. And if you could hold Lamentations 2 and 15. Ezekiel 36 and 2. Let's say at the one Yahweh Bashem Yoshai, because the enemy had set against you, even the ancient high places are ours in possession. Right, so right now, our enemies are laughing at us. Again, made Lamentations 2:15.
Book of Lamentations 2 and 15, it says, all that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Jerusalem, saying, is this a city that men call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? All thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is a day that we looked for. We have found, we have seen it.
So what? Right now, we are the laughing stock of these nations. If you could give me 1 Maccabees 2 and 10, and if you could give me Psalms 44 from verse 11. In the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 10. What nation hath not had a part in his kingdom and gotten of her spoils? All her ornaments are taken away. Of a free woman she is become a bond slave. And behold, our sanctuary, even our beauty and our glory, is laid waste, and the Gentiles have profaned it. Go ahead, verse 13. To what end, therefore, shall we live any longer? Right, so we've become the scorn and the mockery of all the nations in the earth. Right, book of Psalms 44, and from verse 11. Thou hast given us like sheep appointed for meat, and hast scattered us among the heathen. Thou sellest thy people for naught, speaking of who did this, Yahweh, and dost not increase thy wealth by their price. Thou makest us a reproach to our neighbors, a scorn and a derision to them that are wronged about us. Thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. So what we've become a proverb and a byword, as Deuteronomy 28 said. If you give me Deuteronomy 28, if you go first go to 25 and then jump to 37. You're bad with it, buddy. Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 25. Yeah. Yahweh Bashem Yoshai shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Right. Thou shalt go out one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be moved into all the kingdoms of the earth. So we are going to run from our enemies, right? 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. Which was an similitude to say joke, right?
I laugh and stuff.
Right, yes. Among all nations where Yahweh Bashem Yoshai shall lead thee. And if you give me verse 43. Then we go to verse 43. The stranger that is with you, The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. Right, verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Right, so what them is kings, and now we are the jesters in the earth today. If you could give me Nehemiah 5 and 9, and if you could pull Job in the AMP.
Which Job?
Job 30.
Nehemiah 5 and 9, it says, Also I said, it is not good that ye do, ought ye not to walk in the fear of our power because of the reproach of the heathens, our enemies.
Right? You have to walk in the fear of our power because of the reproach, the scorn and the mockery of the heathen, our enemies. Because if we don't walk in the fear of the Most High, He's going to cause these calamities to fall up upon us. Go ahead.
Job 30 and 1, which version wanted?
Right? Book of Job, chapter 30, verse 1, the AMP.
AMP?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you got it. I just put it up. You got it.
In the book of Job, chapter 30, and verse 1 in the AMP Bible, that it is Job's present state is humiliating. Oh, Job's present state is humiliating.
Which Job was a representation of who? The Israelites, and then who? The prophets.
Right. And this one, so like if you give me, so like, let me just read it in the KJ. Let me just read this in the KJV first, and then you will bring the translations, right? But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to set with the dogs of my flock. If you want to go ahead. There's Job 6 and 1 in the AMP. Job's present state is humiliating, but now those younger than I mock and laugh at me, right? Whose fathers I refuse to put with the sheepdogs of my flock. And who is this speaking of? This is speaking of the Edomites, right? This is speaking of the so-called whitey man in the earth today. They are the ones who laugh at us most. Psalms 83. They devised the plan, the heathens went along with it. What? So that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Revelation 11 chapter. And around the 15 verses saw their dead bodies.
And they suffer not their bodies to be put in graves. They gave us no rest.
They had that ignorant state.
Right.
They saw us in that ignorant state and they didn't put us to rest. Like, remove us from that folly.
Right.
But they because why? According to the scriptures, heathens understand that when Jake down and out, they have free, range to rule the earth.
That is right. Read it in Revelation 11 from verse 8.
Let me just bring the Job here in the NLT. It says, Job speaks of his anguish. It says, but now I am mocked by people younger than I, by young men whose fathers are not worthy to run with my sheepdogs.
Bang. So what? They're not even worthy to be compared to animals, the less than animals. How is this? What is this? Go ahead, Revelation 11:8 is it? Revelation 11:8. And the dead bodies shall lie in the city. It's like in the street of the great city with spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. Which that is speaking of. Yeah, go ahead, Salah. You know, that's referring to what modern day America. When we say our Lord was crucified, we mean like spiritually. Spiritually, the Lord was blocked it out of our minds or extolled. And we that I was crucified and he's extolled. But the part across that kind of side, the slant across that kind of way, that's like an X. Right. And an X is a cross. It's something crossing over another. To cancel it out. The Lord was cancelled out of our minds. Because we know this, but this here spiritually is dead bodies. And you're not talking about actually. Well, obviously it's actually dead too, because we're literally dead. Dying. But this was a spiritual death. The scripture says, Proverbs 21:16. The man that wandered out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Verse 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, which is 350 years, from 1619 to 1970, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. Right, for what? And shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. So they gave us no rest. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them,
Mock, laugh, scorn,
and make
ridicule.
merry,
but be happy for the state that we in.
and shall send gifts one to another.
We were those gifts. Read Revelation 18 when you look at the merchandise in which they was made rich and sent all over the earth and was made known for in the earth. One of them was what? Slaves.
Because the scripture said they were made rich by traffic.
Yeah, by traffic has thou gotten the riches. Yep.
And shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets
Tormented them that dwelt on the earth. And that is it right there. Right? So they have a reason to actually laugh at us because now we don't know. Why? Because these prophets tormented them. And I'm glad you bring up that precept. It was the spirit. It leads perfectly into the next point. This was not the original scenario or situation. The one that we find ourselves in was not always the case. Why? Because we had these nations in needles, but not only because we had the fear of these nations, but because of the way we used to operate amongst these nations, it was nothing to be laughed at. They would fear to make mockery of us if David and Solomon was here and was exalted in the earth today as they once were. Yeah,
right?
Because as I make mention of David, when David, as I said, the leaders, when David was in charge, all the enemies were subjected and subdued unto us.
Right.
So they have reason to hate. When you have an enemy and you get put in a situation where he benefited, you're going to do the most. You're going to laugh, you're going to ridicule it, you're going to plot to make sure you stay in the bad position you're in. They have reasons to hate us. They understand when we on top, that is a day for them.
Scripture says, all the trees are the garden envy that own.
Envy. Because one thing to understand as well, so like, yeah, one thing for sure, regardless of who runs the earth as, once it's not a Jake, or let's look at the empire that wants to build to rule the earth, continuing on in the future, the new world order.
The plan is so we to be at the bottom.
Exactly. Best believe who, regardless of who's going to run it, that which is so you don't matter one wants to run it still.
Moab having plans.
Yeah,
all
Moab
these
having
nations
plans.
trying to see
All of
and be
these,
the next
yeah,
big thing.
they know for sure the laborers the one there is Jake.
Exactly.
Jake are not going to be in an exalted position. They understand the importance of subduing.
Right. Literally, look at all of the plans. There's not one of them looking to exalt our Israelites.
No,
Or help we.
yeah.
Right? No man shall buy thee. So what we want to establish here, if you could give me Deuteronomy 4. It was not originally like this. A big part of the reason as to why this has come to be is because what? We don't have our laws, statutes, and commandments and judgments anymore in totality as a nation. So they have right to ridicule and mock us because what? We're not operating like the Israelites anymore. When Balaam saw how the children of Israel behaved, he was jealous. He said, oh, I wish my end were like this. So what? The nation of Israel at one point was a point of admiration in the earth.
Not
again.
just
So
that, admiration and fear.
we're going to
Rahab.
get into the fear, but
You think about Rahab, you
we
think
all
about
had a day.
yeah, the admiration as well. You think about Sheba.
With Bathsheba, she a game recognized game. She acknowledged Solomon to be the wisest man in the earth, so she sought him out. The nation of Israel, once known as the nation of wisdom, again.
To look after,
Because-
want to be like.
Because what? There is it here, just reading back in Lamentations 2:15. All that pass by clap their hands at thee. They hiss and wag their head at the daughter of Zion, the nation of Israel, saying, is this the city that people in the earth, call the perfection of beauty, the joy of the whole earth? At one point, we were known as this. It was not mistaken who we were. We were and are still, but not behaving like it in totality, the sons of power. If you could give me Deuteronomy 4 from verse 4. Why was that the case?
I read verse 1 to 4.
Right.
That's why. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you,
That the laws.
for to do them that ye may live and go in and possess the land which Yahweh, thy power of your fathers, had given you. This is why, because the Lord gave us a proper way to live.
Exactly.
The most exalted way in the earth to live, because the others wasn't living like this. And you clearly see what happened with them. The Lord had to burn 5 cities to fuck down for that bullshit.
Right.
The Lord had to flood the earth because you only want to do what the fuck he said.
And what? And just something I just want to plug in here, which I teach you for to do them. It's not just enough to know the laws, but you have to do them.
As
And what?
I say, what we not
hear of the word. Now Yahweh shall change. James said, well, be not a hearer of the word, but a doer of the word as well. Deceiving, lest you be found to be deceiving your own self. Right? In fact, let me just quote it properly. Be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own self. Right? If you give me Deuteronomy 4 from 4. Deuteronomy 4 and 4. But ye that they cleave unto Yahweh your power are alive, every one of you this day. Right, so we are the nation of life. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh my power commanded me. Right. That ye should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So what we were once known for among the nations, this was a worldwide thing. We had notoriety amongst these people that what we were the wise ones. But go ahead. Verse 7, for what nation is there so great, who had power so nigh unto them? So we God real, and he was close to we. No other nation could say that. Go ahead. As how our power is in all things that we call upon him for. Right. And what nation is there so great that had statutes and judgments so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? And it's put in the form of a question, right? There is not a nation besides the nation of Israel who could make claim to these things. Right? My next thing is the difference between our power and your power is we can't make we power can make we though. That we, I can literally make me go yours bow down to and kick it the fuck over and will. And would not make it, kick it the fuck over, but you know, curse be he that made these idols. Right? So what? Again, as I just pull out the point, we can't make we God, he can make us, but you create your own gods. The first pride, the first joy, the first honor or right or arrogance the nation of Israel should have is the fact that we God real. Everybody else God is a cheap. I've even like to use the word imitation because them gods don't imitate shit. But it's a creation. Our God created and is the creator, but your God is a creation and not a real one at that. Right? If you could give me Joshua 2 from verse 9, because what is the next source of the fact that this was not originally like this? We had needles in these nations. Not only were we known for our wisdom, for our ways, our deportment and behavior in the sight of men, but what we also had the fear of us upon these nations through the Most High. Go ahead. Joshua 2 and 9. And she said unto the men, I know that Yahweh hath given you the land, and that your terror is fallen upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. Because of you, and what the reason was because that Yahweh gave them the land. Right, go ahead. For we have heard how Yahweh dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what he did unto the two kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og. And if you read the book of Joshua, you see, we was just putting men to death. We was wiping out and trying to put these nations into extinction. Like that next part there, whom we utterly destroyed. Right, so yeah, when we came into the land of Israel, we came into the land of Israel. Right, there was no games we come there to play. We was putting men to death. Go ahead. In verse 11, as soon as we heard these things, our hearts did melt. Neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For Yahweh your power, he is power in heaven above and in the earth beneath. So even a heathen had to recognize it when the heathen saw the things that we did. Right? We had the fear of these nations upon us. It was not originally so that we were a laughing stock. If you give me 1 Samuel 4 and from verse 4.
1 Samuel 4 and 4. It says, So the people sent to Shiloh that they might bring forth thence the ark of the covenant of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the ark of the covenant of power. And when the ark of the covenant of power came into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rang again. Right, so we got our ark back, and what the nation of Israel rejoiced, right? And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, What meaneth the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? The Israelites, Jakes. And they understood that the ark of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai was coming to the camp.
Right.
And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, power is coming to this camp. And they said, woe unto us, for there had not been such a thing
So
heretofore.
they never seen anything like this before, right?
It says, woe unto us, who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods?
Of these mighty gods, and who he was speaking of, firstly Yahweh, and then what? The nation of Israel, because we know that from the next point they make here, right?
It says, these are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness.
And what? The Philistines recognized it and they began to shut themselves, right? So how these Philistines talking, how Rahab talking, this was commonplace in the earth, right? Commonplace in the earth that we had the needles on these nations. Go ahead. Deuteronomy 32:30.
Deuteronomy 32 and verse 30, it reads, how should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight,
Think Samson, the jawbone of the ass. Think David.
except their...
David the tens of thousands, right? And think about David mighty men. 2 Samuel chapter 23. Go ahead.
And two put 10,000 to flight, except the Lord Yahweh Shem Yoshai, their rock had sold them,
Right.
and the Lord had shut them up.
Right, so unless the Lord be against us, the abilities we have as a nation, once the Lord fighting with us, we killing thousands of people a day. Easy. Go ahead.
It says, for their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges.
So what them looking at it and them realizing them gods is not like we gods. Their gods is in no comparison. And I say we gods, so like our God, Yoshai, yes, Yahweh Hashem Yoshai, our power, their power is not like our power, right? The one that defending them and the one who stand up in the gap for them make. He not real, it not real, but we power real, and the heathens recognize this, right? So what happened? How did we become a laughing stock, a joke, a mockery, a derision among these nations? Well, Yahweh did it. If you give me first Lamentations 2:17. Okay. You see? Yeah, go ahead. In Lamentations 2:17, Yahweh done that which he had devised. So the Lord planned this when again we read it earlier, the first 15 and 16, right? Go ahead. Yeah, Yahweh done that which he had devised. He had fulfilled his word that he had commanded in the days of old. He had thrown down and had not pitied. He had caused thine enemy to rejoice over thee. He had set up the horn of thine adversaries. Right. Their heart cried unto Yahweh, O wall of the daughter of Zion. Let tears run down like a river day and night. Give thyself no rest. Let not the apple of thine eye cease. Go ahead. Arise, cry out in the night, in the beginning of the watches, pour out thine heart like water before the face of Yahweh. Lift up thy hands toward him for the life of thy young children, that faint for hunger and the top of every street. Behold, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai, and consider to whom thou hast done this. Shall not the woman eat their fruit, and the children of his span long? Read that back again. Shall not the woman eat their fruit? So that shall the woman eat their fruit, and children of his span long? Shall the priest and the prophet be slain in the sanctuary of Yahweh? So what? Yahweh is the one who caused all of this. If you give me Judges 2:14.
Go to 22. Read verse 22.
Okay. Read till 22.
No, read 22.
Verse 22, go ahead. Lamentations 1:22.
So like read, yeah, just read till 22.
Read till 22. So continue long.
Yeah, 21 now.
Verse 21, the young and old lie on the ground in the streets. My word, Lord, same thing we read in Revelation 11, right? My virgins and young men are fallen by the sword. Thou hast slain them in the day of thine anger. Thou hast killed and not pity. Right. Thou hast called it as a solemn day. Thou hast called as in a solemn day my terrors round about. So that the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai's anger. So that in the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai's anger, none escape nor remain. Those that I have swaddled and brought up have mine enemy consumed. So the Lord caused these nations to triumph over us. Give me Judges 2:14. We look at Judges chapter 2 and verse 14. And the anger of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yoshai was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them, and he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies.
Go ahead, verse 15.
Whatsoever they went out, the hand of Yahweh Bashem Yoshai was against them for evil, as Yahweh Bashem Yoshai had said. So like as Yahweh Bashem Yoshai had said, and as the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yoshai had sworn unto them, and they were greatly distressed.
So what it was the Lord's doing that caused this. And why? Because we sinned. If you give me Jeremiah 44 and 2.
Jeremiah 44 and verse 2, and it reads, Thus said the Lord Yahweh Shem Yoshai of hosts, the power of Israel, Ye have seen all the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem and upon all the cities of Judah, and behold, this day they are a desolation, and no man dwelleth therein.
Right?
Because of their wickedness which they have committed to provoke me to anger, and in that they went to burn incense and to serve other powers whom they knew not, neither they, ye, nor your fathers.
Right.
Howbeit I sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, Oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate.
So you were warned. Go ahead.
But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear to turn from their wickedness to burn no incense unto other gods. Therefore my fury and my anger was poured forth, and was kindled in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, and they are wasted and desolate as at this day.
Right? So it was the Lord's doing that caused all of this. Right? So now the heathens have the chance to laugh. Right? Right now it's better to go into the house of mourning than into the house of feasting. Right? Right?
Right now they're feasting.
Right? So now they're in the house of feasting. But what the days of mourning for these nations are at hand. Right? We are going to have the last laugh if you give me Daniel 2.
2 and 44.
2 and verse 44. Right? The
Daniel.
kingdom shall be returned to the Israelites. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Right. Daniel 2 and 44. And the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom.
Right? So while these kings are ruling, right?
I'm going to what the word days or days, just going to what the period of time.
Right. So at the time when these kings, these heathen should have the rulership, right?
Or at the end.
At the end of it, right? At the end of those days,
It shall never be destroyed. So like,
Shall
and
the
in
power of
these days
heaven.
so like, and in the days
Start
of
from
these
the top.
kings,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people,
Right.
but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
So the Lord is about to do a role reversal in which what the kingly authority should be given to the Israelites. If you give me Psalms 2 and verse from it, just verse 8.
In Psalms 2 and 8, ask of me, I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
So what they're gonna take their captors and make them the captives. If you give me Revelation 2 and verse 25.
Revelation 2 and verse 25. But that which we have already hold fast till I come, and he that overcometh and keep my words unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
The which nations? The ones that currently laugh at us and the ones who currently mock us. If you give me Revelation 20 and verse 4.
Revelation 20 and 4. And I saw thrones, and they and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them.
Unto who? The elect, speaking specifically of the 144,000, right, from Yahushua go all the way down.
Like Psalms 1 and 20 and 5.
Set thrones to the house of David, yeah?
And judgment was given unto them. I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of Yahweh, which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years.
Right? Now if you could give me Psalms 149 and from verse 5, because what they lived and reigned, but what did they do during their reign? What they put these heathens to flight and they enslaved them, right? The slavery days are coming. They are at hand. Now you all will get to cry. right? You're laughing now, but you all are going to cry in the kingdom. Go ahead.
Psalms 100.
Salah, go ahead.
Psalms, I go in Psalms 144.
Bad no man.
Yeah, I did it. So that's basic. Psalms 144 from verse 5.
149. That is it. Yeah.
Psalms 149 from 5. It says, let the saints be joyful in glory, and them sing aloud upon their beds.
And who are the saints? This speaks to the whole nation of Israel. Psalms 148 verse 14. He also exalted the horn of his people, the Israelites, the praise of all his saints. Again, let's talk about the use of the semicolon and the colon, right? So the thing that is going to be listed after before, right? Even of the children of Israel. So the saints are Salah.
And into that word even in the old English, I would mean what? Which is, what is, that is.
Or who is.
Or who is.
So the word is used as an identifier, right? Even of the children of Israel. So the saints are the children of Israel, a people near unto him. Praise ye Yahweh.
And even they didn't put that part, even the children of Israel, the people near unto him. Only people out near unto him was the children of Israel.
Psalms 147 from 19 and 20. So come on, right? The saints are the children of Israel. So, of course, they have a first fruits of the saints, so them going to get their hands on you all first, but the whole nation of Israel are going to take part in it. Whoever was laughed at and mocked at, they're going to have the chance to laugh and mock. And the ones who was laughing and mocking, they're going to have the chance to cry now. Go ahead. Yep. Every last one of them going to get your hands on him. Go ahead.
Psalms 149 and 6, let the high praises of power be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor of all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
If you give me Psalms 137.
Psalms
Psalms 137 verse 7. Remember, O Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem. He said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. So what Esau was laughing, that he was saying, well, destroy it.
Right, because, and Esau, the kind of fucking maniacal man he is, he would laugh at the destruction of any nation and people. That wicked, evil bastard.
He own people.
He own people. As long as he gets to search, kill, and destroy, he's happy, right? So what? Remember them. Remember these people who laughed at us and who destroyed us, right? Go ahead.
The daughter of Babylon who had to be destroyed.
You descendants of Babylon, reincarnation of Babylon. Go ahead.
Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast saved us.
Right.
Happy shall he be that take it, dash it thy little ones
against these stones. Laugh and cry does live in the same house. And the people who are going to exact vengeance on you going to be happy and laughing, because being happy is a sign of laughter. When you're happy, you're smiling. When you're laughing, you're smiling, right? What are going to mean for the ones who the judgment is being exacted on? You all are going to cry, right? The time is at hand in which what? The Lord is going to pull a role reversal on you heathens. Isaiah 14 and from verse 16, because what? We are the mockery of the earth today. But that's not going to be the case in the kingdom. You all are going to be the mockery of the earth, right? The kingdom with you Edomites. Isaiah 14 and verse 16, right? They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? You all are going to be a proverb, a byword, a scorning, and a mockery in the kingdom to come. The Most High is going to put you all to shame, right? And you all are going to be the laughing stock, right? If you're in nothing, I want to close it up, you said.
Good.
So there is Revelation 11, I think it's 12. Here we go. Revelation 11. After 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from power entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So there was laughing before they said. They were laughing before they said.
Yeah.
They understand the importance of silver in that connection.
Right.
But the Lord had never given that power into the hands of man.
he was the one who would say whether or not he would deal with the nation of Israel, if and when and how and where and why. He's the one who's determining whether or not we have the understanding or not man. So you all had a chance to laugh while you was down, but the one who put us down raised us up. And verse 12, right?
Even the righteous, they didn't have that say. He told Jeremiah, thou even thyself shall discontinue from thy wealth. You think Jeremiah wanted to do that? Jeremiah was saying the matter. Apostle Paul said that in 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter, or Salakia, 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, concerning the falling away. He knew.
And he couldn't stop.
He couldn't stop.
See, Solomon, I'm over it in the son Solomon, man, you think for Solomon to be sneaky people so exalted. And then he writes Ecclesiastes 10, 5, 6, and 7. He sees something like, no, this is had to be a mistake. Era proceeded from the ruler. Who's the ruler? Daniel 4:17. Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men.
Even you look at if we explore the concept of the fathers, the forefathers was here today, as in that incarnation, aka Jacob was in here today. Isaac was in here today.
As Isaac, Jacob was here.
As Joshua. Yeah. The mother sit down and see the way the world running and governing. Nah. This night.
This can't be it. I don't get promises, but what is this? What is this?
I Joshua.
That's fucker. He running here.
Yeah.
Get these stones.
Yeah.
Get these stones and get them now.
And then they will see Jacob, the way with Jacob reacting, because they go, no, Jay. They surely could tell. And like,
nah, get the fucking swords. Get these stones, get them now, and get these swords for these people. Because they have to die.
Even you look at the King Josiah, he wasn't afraid to put to death wicked Israelite men, Mattathiah. See that man come and try and offer up that vain sacrifice on the Lord. He's like, nah, you trip. If the forefathers say today, they'd be ashamed.
Eliezer being zealous for the law, pelt a spear through a man. Then put men to death under stones, 2 and 3 witnesses. What shall we do with this man picking up sticks on the Sabbath? The prophets is serious, man, and them little kicks, man. Nehemiah was ripping men here out. Yahushai flip a table and whipping men.
Like Pete, even that why the Lord had to tell you men and make sure and tell them be harmless as dogs, but wise as serpents, because if he ain't tell them that, he knew Peter and them would have started.
Them would have started. Them would have chip off and started. So what? They were. Yeah, what Judah? So what? He gave them the instruction, hey, cool it, it's not the time yet. But
because
what?
This go send you mad.
Because what the time is at hand in which what the Most High is now going to work, and he's going to fix the problem that he created. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 6. And you could read till verse 8. And we'll close with this, yeah?
Deuteronomy 30 and verse 6, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai thy power will circumcise thine heart,
to cut away all the dross, the things you do not need.
and the heart of thy seed to love Yahweh Bashem Yahushai thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live.
So Moses talking about the new covenant here. Go ahead.
And Yahweh Bashem Yahushai thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies.
The reasons behind why we are made a laughing stock in the earth today, because of the curses that he put on us, right?
And on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
You look at it in the kingdom, they're going to be the laughing stocks now.
Can.
We're going to be saying the scripture talk about he that sitteth in the heaven
shall laugh.
The ones who will be in the leadership position and authority within you, you're going to laugh. You have no reason to cry again.
Can. What? The Lord shall wipe out. We go get our one. We go get our one. We go close
talk about as well in time of Jacob shower to come. We go laugh at we people. No, we are get a chance to laugh at we people.
That's going to be the part 2.
Yeah.
The 2/3 laughing now. But we promise you, in the time to come, they will be crying. But what? Part 3, we crying now, but we're going to laugh in the end.
We let cry, no.
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 8, and thou shalt return and obey the voice of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day.
So right, laugh and cry does live in the same house. And part 1 of the series, the heathens laughing now, but they shall cry later. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying and that you were edified. In closing, like to say, Kal Halal Yam La Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakha Kodash. like to give double honors, double unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who surely do rule well. To the men standing by the highways and byways pushing this doctrine, we like to say Shalom.
Shalom.
And even unto the sincere awkward, the sisters who sit, listen these lessons in silence, subjection and obedience unto their husbands, we like to say Shalom. Right, this was a couple of brothers here from the Heralds of Yahweh Shai Camp, brother Maya Shala.
And I'm the brother Isaiah.
Right, and until next time, we like to say Shalom. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.